54. Is that might be wrong. Anyway, but then according to the game's clock, it will have been 20 minutes and some, even though it is actually only been a couple of seconds. And that is Hardcore Gaming Hour with the AC Money. Thank you for watching. Special thanks to the Urban Arts Partnership for sponsoring tonight's proceedings, and we will see you next time on Hardcore Gaming Hour with AC Money. Anyway, we're gonna get this run started.
We will see you next time. We're just starting. We can't send the viewers away yet. Come on, AC. We don't want to scare the viewers.
Our message is going to be.
Yikes.
All right, here we go.
So I mean, keeping it in line with, Cardinal Sin SMO commentary, we gotta talk about how the Cap Kingdom is the Cap Kingdom that starts out at the beginning of the game. It's the same. Nobody else does anything different. It's all boring. What else we do?
Everyone got to the Switch at the same time. I always like it when people get to the Switch at the same time because I have commentated several fairly lopsided races. Where, neat movement there by Yoyofruits to go down the railing. That's the word. This appears that saved about half a second, so that's pretty exciting. But there have definitely been races that I've commentated where somebody bonks in the Cap Kingdom, the other runner gets to the Switch first, and it's already over. So that has not happened here.
No,
Yoyofruits.
It's never over in Cap Kingdom. Come on.
Well, more of the fact that there's like a 10-minute difference in PB or something, and it's like, I know going in it's going to be a lopsided race. The predictions are like, nobody even votes for the other person, except one person puts like 1 point. They get like 30,000 to 1 odds. Those kinds of races. It's called the Tony Hawk, according to Troy. He would know.
That is not accurate. The Tony Hawk is an SM64 when you're on the edge of like any sort of geometry and Mario starts like jittering on the side and you can't move. That's the Tony Hawk. We'll fight to the death on that one, but either way, we're headed out of Cap Kingdom here, pretty much synced up. Some slight differences on the screen, but of course it doesn't matter because Cap Kingdom is about 2 minutes and the entire run is, an hour long. So yes. Lots more time to make up and save some time on either side, make plenty of mistakes. I'm sure we'll see some sizable ones as we roll off here into Cascade.
I don't expect either of these runners to play perfect in a run, nor would I expect anyone to play perfect, in a race, excuse me. I wouldn't expect anyone to play perfect in a race.
Why not?
Obviously, both of these runners are a couple minutes behind world record pace, so we might see some deviations of strategies, but their PBs are close together, so I'm expecting a good one here.
Yeah, I mean, we got
imagine nothing too fancy here in Cascade. I'm sure neither runner will go for DSS, and we will see if either goes for chest clip. I would not expect it. I want to say it was about a second, and it is fairly risky. Although, we did see somebody a couple days ago get sniped by the chain chomp on the way down from the cliff, so you tell me if it saves any time. Of course, the dinosaur, one of the point of one of the biggest trolls in gaming history is Yoyofruits misses the trampoline, gets it the second time. For those watching E3 2017, I was watching this dinosaur roam around like, why are they closing E3 with a Turok game? And then the hat appears and I'm like, oh my god.
Yoshi looks different. I don't get it. Why'd they make Yoshi look like a dinosaur for real? I don't like it. This game's gonna stink.
The original Super Mario Brothers movie.
Pretty good movie. Big fan of the Super Show, not gonna lie.
That's the Super Show. Yoshi, but with RTX on. Yeah, Yoshi's been mining some Bitcoin.
Yikes. We ran a prediction, right? I'm pretty sure we did. It's just been so long. Yeah, we did. I see some globes in the chat. We got some sznoj supporters.
Sznoj and Yoyofruits. Yoyofruits with 62% actually, despite being the lower-seeded competitor, which I find rather interesting. Matzy dropping 10k on this race, Angry Pigeon with 5k on Skanoi. So, best of luck to you predictors. And as expected, 2 chest flips, 0 chain chomp snipes. Good stuff. We are very even heading out of Cascade.
As AC Money said, whoever has the lead out of cap, it's all over. It's all wrapped up. Doesn't matter what Yoyofruits does. Can't come back now.
I said when there was a sizable difference in PB. 16 seconds is not a sizable difference in PB. This is very much not a already decided going through the formalities race. Come on, Mulan.
I'm just here for the character assassination. Either way, Sand Kingdom is pretty poggers. It has sand. It's a kingdom. It's very dry. It's cold for some reason, even though it's a desert. I guess deserts typically get pretty cold at night. It's kind of weird to like think that it like snows in deserts sometimes, but that's a real thing. Either way, we are unfortunately not having just a chilly nighttime. It is in fact daytime, and it is freezing because Bowser's kind of a bad dude.
Yeah. A lot of collateral damage, I would think. Luckily, though, Mario... Or actually, I would say luckily Mario is here to save the day, but Mario is just here to power up his spaceship and leave.
Yeah, Mario's a really nice guy.
Usually he's a nice guy. Not today. And let's see, 2 good birds. Well done. Skanoi having to dive back, but he got it. Interesting camera angle.
Is there a K sound in Snoy? Skanoi? Snoy? I thought it was just Snoy. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I said Skanoi earlier, and you said yes. But yeah, it's probably Snoy. So
I just pronounce it differently every time. I'm gonna be really honest.
On a different forum, there was a user called Skanoi, which was spelled SCNOI. And that was how it was pronounced, Skanoi.
Well, either way, both runners going to be robbing the nice shopkeepers here of their goods as we roll out back into sand. Yoyofruits with a tiny lead out of employees only, but definitely not insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination, as he falls behind simply by not being able to instantly grab that Dune Moon.
Oh, we are very synced up here, actually. They are neck and neck.
Oh.
Let's see. I was gonna say let's see 2 for 2 Bowser Dram, but Skanoi's gonna ruin the sync there by falling off of the ice crystal.
Bowser Dram and Sand Poggers.
Whatever. Sand Dram. There's too many Drams.
What are you talking about? There's like 4 Drams. There's
and that's
Bill
3
Dram,
too many.
There's Bowser's Dram. There's Cactus Dram. Or you might as well call it Zipper Dram and like when you grab the zipper with your hat.
Well, Snoy failed it, so he's got to go back up. Having some issues. There we go.
Definitely knows how to find the capture taken button, though. That's very important. The key element to speedrunning SMOs, you have to know where that capture taken button is. If you don't, then you actually get banned from the entire community, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, how else are you going to make rage captures? That's like the best part of the game.
It's actually required.
I don't know if this constitutes a rage capture. He's been taking a capture on the last couple of moons that he's collected. Interesting.
Mulan, I suppose you could say there's over 9,000 gram strats. Oh, got him. Oh, man.
2007 called it once its meme back.
Dude, I remember in high school, there was like some like pep assembly we were forced to go to, and they made an
that would be a lot of high school for me.
They made an over 9,000 joke in like 2012, and I wanted to die. I was like, no way, this just happened. Like they thought they were like the funniest person in the room. I was like, oh my god, dude.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little surprised that I'm older than you, because I graduated in 2012.
I graduated in 2012. Wow, we're the same age.
We are the same age.
Poggers. Me and AC actually went to the same school, question mark. New lore discovered.
Okay, how am I going to How am I going to code talk this to see if we went to the same high school
Did
without
you go to
revealing where
school
either of
in
us went?
Washington State?
No,
Then
the opposite
boom.
side of the country.
Boom,
So
already solved.
that is an easy way to do it.
We figured it out, as both players have figured out how to fly back to the Odyssey using Cappy. Yo-Yo, of course, taking a significant lead here, but not too big. Let's see what the final verdict is as we pop out of this kingdom. Both runners using our amazing plug-in here so we can see the exact split deltas, and it is a 13.99 second lead for Yoyofruits. We can be insanely specific with these. I mean, before we could only say like 14 seconds, and who knows, you know, plus or minus how many milliseconds, but now...
Races have been decided by milliseconds in this league so far.
Yeah, very true. And we all know that humans make 0 mistakes while splitting, so it's definitely 100% accurate. But we'll ignore that factor as we roll into Lake Kingdom here. Point 1 actually is super important. I don't think we've had a 0.1 second difference race. I think we've had a 0.2 second difference race though so far, so... Might not think it's that big of a deal to be behind or ahead by milliseconds, but it is a big deal. When you get to the end of the run and you've, you know, lost by 0.2 milliseconds, and you think of all the times where you could have saved 0.2 milliseconds throughout the entire run, or excuse me, 0.2 seconds. Yeah, it definitely starts to feel a bit more sizable at that point. Both players nailing the late clip here. It looks like Sznoj having a little bit more difficulty getting out of bounds, but still does achieve it. That's what matters. Not too much time lost there. And our protagonist so far in this race, Yoyofruits, going to be attempting Dilly P skip here. Dilly P's nose, of course, being very large, but taking a wide berth around Dilly P there. Very good strategy. Completely avoiding all sorts of shenanigans from the nose. Definitely a lot easier with the late clip route, as Dilly P is a little bit further behind in his cycle, but still definitely a formidable foe. And nose has ended many a good speedrun. Really sad to see runners just bring the cheap into the air room to die. The little air bubble just turning the fish into dust. Tragic. I'd have to venture to guess that the gap is widening here. And indeed, okay. Barely correct. Gap widening by 0.08 millisecond, or 0.08 seconds. I need to stop saying milliseconds instead of seconds. If we were measuring by 0.8 milliseconds, then I'd be very impressed with our accuracy, but only down to the milliseconds. I don't know. Stats team, pick it up. Come on. We need the nanoseconds on here. We need to know exactly how far behind certain players are. Yoyofruits, of course, enjoying smacking some rabbits with rocks. Very fun thing to partake in. Do not try in real life. It is not very nice to rabbits. Luckily, cartoon bunnies don't feel pain. Gotta practice for the brutal fights. I don't feel like you need any new challenges, Matsei. I feel like you have, like, plenty of work to do with both the SMO A and B division stat sheet. See both players here going for this tree route. Going for the optimal nut clip route here, as Yoyofruits going to be attempting it now. We'll see if it's a success. It looks alright to my untrained eye, and it is in fact a clip. Out of bounds movement looking pretty solid. Snoy pulling up the rear here, going to be going for his own nut clip attempt. Very nice work from both players nabbing the nut clip. If you do end up missing nut clip, it can be a bit of a hard time. You do lose a chunk of your run, but both players avoiding that fact and just going to keep grabbing it, making things easy. Yeah, theoretically AC Money is here. Did have to step out for a moment. It's unfortunate we can't, you know, hire on a professional commentary cast where we can pay people to be here 24/7, but of course, real life more important. Some of our best commentators do work from home, so they are available quite a bit more, but it does mean that occasionally we have to have players, or excuse me, commentators drop out of the call for a little bit, but that's a-okay. AC does a great job. We're glad to have him around. You'll take the job. Alright, Lip Potato. You're on. Minimum wage in your country is like 5 cents per year, right? That's about all I can afford right now, unfortunately. Either way, both players can be making their way up the tower here. Snoy a little bit far behind at this point. Split delta growing ever larger as Yoyofruits just having a little bit cleaner movement overall. Of course, getting a little bit more success on late clip definitely helped out, but it seems like Snoy just falling a little bit behind here. Could be the fact that Snoy didn't have any time to warm up as well. Unfortunately, you know, having that little bit of confusion between the time zones does tend to happen around this time of year. It's unfortunate, but not much we can do about it. I don't believe the sound is out of sync. If the sound is out of sync, it's by like barely anything. I can't notice it. Nice movement from Yo-Yo there in the Fuzzy's room. See if Snoy can clap back with his own clean Fuzzy's room. It is a bit of a difficult area, but at this level you tend to see runners have not too big of an issue with it. Although as soon as I say that, you know, you probably curse it, and looks like I did, but Snoy knowing how to back it up. A very nice movement, the up throw. Grab another wall little kick there. Very nice stuff. Not losing too much time, and globing just as Yoyofruits is exiting, so we're one full moon load up cutscene here apart. We'll see what that translates to real game time. I'm sure some professional SMO gamers in the chat already know exactly what the delta is going to be, but I am a tiny pea brain, so I have to wait. And see what the stat sheet tells me. And it looks like the gap is widened now to a 22-second lead here for Yoyofruits. Yeah, the most basic way you can put it in terms of the tournament format for each the A and B divisions is that we've got group stage where we have groups of 4. Each player plays each other once, so each player plays at least 3 matches. The 2 players out of 4 in each group that have the best records at the end of the group stage, once everyone's played 3 times, they will move on to a playoffs bracket where it's single elimination, just a normal tournament style bracket. And then top 4 get a prize payout. Top 7 determined by... well, we'll have like a top 8, and then we'll have some sort of playoff 4-way race or something like that to determine the last spot. But we do have a league coming up in late December where we will be having the best of the best in SMO all playing each other for some points, for some money. We got a $1,000 prize pool on the line, which has been generously put up by the Urban Arts Partnership, which is a fantastic program that sends underprivileged students to college that otherwise wouldn't be able to do so. So do check them out if you haven't already. But as I say that, we are rolling into the Lost Kingdom, where there can be a lot of time saved or lost. Get it lost? Lost and lost. Damn, I'm funny. AC's not here to make fun of me. Sag. Is that even a pun? I feel like that's just saying words. I feel like it's not even a pun. Doesn't seem like either runner's going to lose too much time here. There are a couple more potential points of weakness, but they're not too large. Obviously, you know, dying in the poison jam right there underneath Snowy's feet would have been catastrophic, but anywhere else, I would not expect it. And we die by the time we're about to grab the last moon. I mean, really not a huge time loss. Would be enough to tie things up if Yoyofruits were to die trying to do the bounce back after the final moon, but I don't expect it here. Yep, and making it back a-okay. Snoy having to just rely on some possible mistakes maybe for Yoyofruits. But Yoyofruits not given any opportunity. Does get the bounce back there on the last moon, so not a huge worry for Snoy, not losing too much time. Definitely keeping pace with his counterpart in Yoyofruits, but we are starting to run out of kingdoms. It's starting to get a little bit scary. Snowy needs to keep it together as we move into Metro here. A pretty difficult stage. There's some definite, pretty sizable time losses possible. Obviously, the major one coming to mind in Night Metro is, of course, the Mecha Wiggler fight. Can make or break a run. Yo-Yo having a little bit of trouble with the girder moon there. Having to take a ledge grab, which is not what you're wanting to see there, obviously. Not setting up for anything, not, you know, recovering from anything, just kind of a slip up. Not a huge deal, but it is little things like that that can be openings for your opponent when you have a lead like this. You can't get too comfortable. You gotta think that your opponent is right behind you at any step of the way. Very nice cycle from Yo-Yo. Snoy looking like we're going to be right behind here. A bit of City Hall movement apart as Yo-Yo does nail the final yeet in the top of City Hall. Snoy hopefully able to nab that as well. It definitely is a lot easier for runners at this level to handle this strat, but it can hurt anybody. I mean, it's a pretty big jump. Your camera is rotating sideways. It can catch a lot of people off guard at any level, but main focus here, of course, being the Mecha Wiggler fight. A 3-cycle would be deadly for Yoyofruits. course, manipulating that Mecha Wiggler so that he's running the shortest amount of distance possible between each wall. You don't want, obviously, the Mecha Wiggler spending a lot of time running in between buildings. Time loss is bad. Yoyofruits dealing pretty well with this pattern. It's not too tricky of a pattern, but needs to grab these last 2 shots. One shot misses, gets a little bit crazy with the final shots, but was able to manage to grab the last one. Very nice stuff. Snoy looking to close out his 2 cycles, so neither racer having a catastrophic Wiggler meltdown. You love to see it. Alright, so we are done with the night metro. The lights have been turned on miraculously. I'm not sure why. I guess we slept between now and... or the Wiggler fight and now. I really don't understand that sort of plot device, but regardless. I know, I kicked AC from the call. I was tired of AC's crap. No, AC had to go for some sort of last minute work meeting, so he will be back at some point. You guys are stuck with me on the solo comms again. Man, it's a solo comms kind of day for me. I guess chat just likes listening to my voice, huh? That's it, right? Backed by popular demand. Definitely not necessity. But as I was saying, Day Metro has a lot more possibility of small movement time errors and also saves. Got a lot of interesting stuff like, you know, capturing these cones in order to gain some speed. Obviously bonking there, not optimal. And this girder movement is very tricky. Oh, taking a fierce bonk there. And just like that, Snoy catching up here. As I was saying, these small movement errors, these small movement successes all start to add up as we will be seeing at least one bullet building route. Looks like a early musicians from Snoy here. So Yoyofruits opting to go for the harder route, potentially saving some time where Snoy will be talking to some musicians, gathering some free moons, but potentially losing a couple seconds here. We'll see if Yoyofruits can capitalize. And it looks like Yoyofruits having a very nice bullet building there. Not making any major mistakes and saving some time over the musician's route. So Yoyofruits coming in with the confident strats. A little bit weaker of a PB, but definitely looking solid here in this race as he is leading by a few seconds here in Day Metro. Oh, and Yoyofruits taking a pretty hefty bonk there. Headed towards the top of the tower. I'm not sure why Snoy is capturing. Probably some sort of movement errors. Was not looking, but maybe just really wants to live in the moment. I don't know. See how the tower climb goes for Snoy. Looks like it's a little bit nicer to him, which is good to see. Tower climb can be incredibly difficult. One thing goes wrong, you bonk. All of a sudden you bonked 5 times. Not a good situation to be in. Both runners going to be finishing up the people's room here as they clean up their respective day metros. We'll see what the split timings are. Looks as if Yoyofruits has either defended or extended his lead here. It's hard to say. Snowy apparently not having the best time. Now, it looks like we have extended the lead by almost double. We're sitting at an 18-second lead now, extending the lead by 8 seconds as we head into the Snow Kingdom. Very comfy kingdom. Big fan of snow in general. You might be able to guess. Not a big fan of icy water though, especially when Mario's overalls get all soggy, start making that sloshing sound. I'm not a big fan. What's going on with Yoyofruits' screen? I don't know. Okay, we're just having some lag. I was like, is this game like weirdly soft lock? Like, what is this? In fact, not the case. But we are here in Shivarian Town now. Wonderful music here. Much better than Seaside's terrible elevator music, I must say. Although we must go there next. It is a requirement. It's not possible to skip any of the kingdoms at any percent yet. I'm a firm believer that someday we will be able to do some sort of a sequence break, but as of right now, any percent in this game is a pretty pure category as far as any percent categories go. I don't think that's going to work from Yo-Yo. Oh, okay, I'm proven completely clueless as Yoyofruits nails that moon flip. But as I was saying, most games, especially games that have been out for a few years, you know, maybe half a decade or so, they're completely broken in any percent. You're clipping out of bounds everywhere, you're skipping entire sections of the game, you're warping places. And SMO, you have to go to every kingdom, you have to collect as many collectibles as the game wants you to collect. There's no real, like, major sequence breaks. It's a pretty nice, I don't know, it's just very nice. I like it. You don't have to make any sort of arbitrary rules up in order to, you know, play the game for the most part as intended. Obviously, there's a lot of pretty fancy movements that we do in any percent that is not intended, such as coming up, we're going to be doing a trick called Snowdram, where we reach an area you'd normally only be able to access by teleporting from another kingdom through a painting. But SMO speedrunners, we always find a way, you know. You gotta figure out some ways to cross some crazy gaps, even if there's no reason. Yeah, I've seen some interesting developments happening in Metroid Dread. Good to see. I think it's funny because they have that whole thing where it's like you can't, like, collect certain items or use them before you get the other ones. Like, it, like, hard locks you out of using items if you don't have the prerequisite item, which most games won't do. But you can still break it, because gamers always find a way. Regardless here, we got Yoyofruits grabbing this moon here from the shop. Gonna be the second to last moon we're grabbing the kingdom. Right before we attempt that Snowdram I was talking about earlier. And Snowdram, it can act kind of like a great equalizer. There are a lot of times where even the most skilled runners in the game will have some troubles with this trick. It's not the hardest jump, I've been told, in the world, but you do have to have some good vectoring. You do gotta know what you're doing. And you can't make any major mistakes. Yoyofruits getting it first try. We'll see if Snowy can answer back with the same thing. It does nab it. I feel like players are getting better and better at Snowdram. remember when I first started watching any percent, it was like a very, very difficult trick. Nobody really, I wouldn't say nobody did it in runs, but like, it was like a very high level-ish skill. You didn't really go for it if you had like a 106 or a 108 or something like that, but now it's like everybody and their mother's doing Snowdram. And it's not like people are going for it and they're, you know, making major mistakes on it every time, losing 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds on it. Even the younger, so to speak, runners are doing pretty solid at that Snowdram. So Yoyofruits, first gamer into the elevator music kingdom. If you like the jams that come on when you call your bank's 1-800 hotline and you have to sit on hold for 20 minutes, then you're gonna love Seaside Kingdom. Because that's all it is the entire time. Alright, will we see any sort of out of bounds clips here? Looks like Yoyofruits gonna be opting not to go for it. Sznoj, I hope we see it. It'd be a good opportunity to save some time here. Question is, has he been practicing it? I don't understand. What do you mean hate? I love bank hold music. That's why I love Seaside's music so much. Big fan. Sometimes I call my bank just to listen to the jams on the hotline. And then every time someone actually like picks up the phone, I just hang up, call right back. Alright, so Yoyofruits going to be going for some sort of clip in this kingdom. Gonna be the easy free one though. Otherwise known as fish clip. Nabbing an out of bounds moon here before we head underneath the Sphinx. Looting that treasure for free. Don't even have to answer his riddle. Kind of rude, honestly. I mean, the Sphinx is basically giving the rune away for free, but we won't even just, you know, humor the guy, answer his basic questions about the kingdom. Kind of cursed. Hello, thank you for calling Bank. Can you place me back on hold, please? I want to hear the Seaside music again, please. Relatable. Alright. Let's see what the difference is here. What is the damage outside of Seaside Kingdom? I want to see it. I wanted to say that Sznoj caught up a little bit there, but unfortunately Yoyofruits gaining another second on his lead. A solid second as well. It's not even like a baby second. It's plus a little over a second. Which is very cool. Yoyofruits looking pretty hot here. Unfortunately, commentator trying to curse him. But Yoyofruits is just too powerful. I mean, you saw him there. The magnets of the commentator's curse were pulling him towards the edge, and he said, no way. And staying on this geometry. So shout outs to Yoyofruits for avoiding that edge. And we'll be going for Spewered, so I think both racers are probably going to go for Spewered. I'd be surprised to see a Spiritless out of Sznoj. The stat sheet calls it Spirit Skip, and that kind of bothers me. I'm not gonna lie, that's triggering me for some reason. I also blame Dansta. Even if it's not Dansta's fault, I'm blaming Dansta. I was watching Dansta on his sub-hour grind earlier. Dude, shoutouts to Dansta. We'll get it someday. Top 100 soon, poggers. I've never heard anybody call it anything but spirulous. I don't know if I can get behind that. I mean, I understand the reasoning, but like, I don't think people really say that. I don't think people realistically ever make that distinction. Maybe I'm wrong. Regardless here, both runners going to be heading into town, making some rancid gold soup. And of course, stealing more valuable power moons from the inhabitants of this kingdom. I'm really glad we get to listen to Yoyofruits' audio, because apparently it's just a capture city over on Snowy's side. Yoyofruits having some trouble capturing a Podobo here, which is a little bit uncharacteristic of runners of this caliber, but mistakes are bound to be made at some point during the run. Yoyofruits has been having a pretty clean one so far. See if Snoy is able to capture this Podobo a little bit better. Looks like we will be. Almost did it, but Yoyofruits having a pretty solid forks room. Snoy is just rolling in. Yo-Yo is rolling out. Ooh, nice up throw there. Oh, but taking a tumble here. Full dive all the way to the bottom. Captures being taken all the way down. Snoy is not happy. And that's a rough fall. Snoy feeling like he was in the zone there probably, but not making that cap throw again. Same exact mistake. Snoy just unable to recover, and again, Snoy, please, just take it easy. Just take the L, man. There you go. Okay, I like that. Taking the L. That's sometimes in speedrunning, especially in races, you just gotta take the L. It hurts, but I got mad respect for Snory for taking that very calm, very easily. Not continuing to go for the hard strat and failing it again. I mean, if you fail it a fourth time, I don't know if there's any recovering mentality there. That's just too rough. Yoyofruits twitching the meat. Attracting a giant borb. Collecting a free moon here. Free multi-moon, in fact. Snowy having some trouble with the cheese blocks. Gonna be capturing the Koopa 3 times. Slightly suboptimal, unfortunately. This is a speedrun race, Snoy. It's where 2 players play Super Mario Odyssey against each other and they don't reset. It's pretty poggers. Big fan. Unfortunately, sometimes, you know, we're making those mistakes. It just happens. Nothing you can really do about it, unfortunately. So we got Yoyofruits rolling into the Spyro Kingdom, I think it's called. I think I heard another commentator call it that, so we'll just assume that's the name. #1 boss fight in all of Mario history, fighting a giant realistic dragon. Somebody said it was realistic, and now I just keep saying it. But I'm not really sure a dragon can be realistic. That doesn't really make much sense. Either way, the dragon is very strangely detailed for a Mario game, that's for sure. Makes a pretty gross noise when you squish his brain too. Not gonna lie. Not a big fan. So far managing to hold his own here. Quick reminder to make sure that you support the racers participating in this tournament. There's a lot of very high level runners in this community that do not get the exposure or attention they deserve, so if you are so inclined, do go smack that follow button. Perhaps catch them in some other time when they're doing PB attempts, running some different categories. There's a lot of different faces in the community in this tournament, so it's always good to check in. Touch bases with all the runners, see if you might find a new favorite streamer. As I say that, Yoyofruits are going to be wrapping up Ruined Kingdom and headed into the final leg of the journey, which is Bowser's Kingdom and Moon Kingdom. Probably two of the more tricky kingdoms in the game, and definitely more intimidating. They are at the end of the run. Everything matters. We're past all of the sort of filler content. Of course, a lot of it also very difficult, but come on, you got a lot of stuff in Bowser's that's difficult. You got a lot of wide open, empty gaps to fall down and die, as well as the Mecha Brutal fight. Anything can go wrong in this stage. And oftentimes, everything goes wrong in this stage, so we'll see if Yoyofruits can keep it together here. We'll also see what the delta is as we exit. It'll take a little bit for Sznoj to catch up. AC getting his free plug here for having his face in the call. You'd love to see it. Love to see it. Also worth shouting out UAP once more while we have some downtime. We already talked about him a little bit, but of course, sending kids to school for game design, very good cause. Of course, aligns really well with what we're trying to do here at GSA, promoting communities. Would really like to see more and more game designers in the industry, especially ones from underprivileged families that otherwise don't have the means to send their kids to school. But enough of the shoutouts, Kingdom. We got Bowser's coming up. Let's see what the ogre movement looks like here. Looks pretty hot so far. Long jump into some cap dive action. Spin pound. Alright, some pretty safe, consistent movement there from Yoyofruits. I like it. Definitely not bad movement. Definitely speedy. Speed's what we need here. You might not think that Yoyofruits needs to worry about speed too much since he has a pretty sizable lead, but going up against any gamer with a 100 in SMO any percent, you got to keep the pressure on. You can't just let off the gas. You can't just start getting comfortable. Especially not when you got things like we were talking about before, as a mech fight. Even Bowser's fight, for example, you can't put your guard down. If you start messing up fast hats, you're losing a buttload of time. Yoyofruits already wrapping up shards here as Sznoj is just now entering the Ogre Battle of the Century. This man has a giant stamp and he's not afraid to use it, but Sznoj, I'm guessing, has the moves, excuse me. Going for the same spin pound into the up throw. As Yoyofruits moves on, we'll see if we see a Bowser Jam here or if we see some sort of right side shenanigans. Could be a variety of things, but it looks like it's going to be Bowser Jam. I don't think that's going to connect. No, just immediately bailing on it. Acknowledging that the cap was not in the right spot, and that is a good call. No point in trying for it. It's definitely not going to work. Yoyofruits entering the topper fight first here. Chat, I'm gonna let you guys have the battle if you want. I'm not gonna hype up the battle. I'm over the battle, honestly. I want peace in the topper Harriet arena. I want the bunnies to come together, peace and harmony. We can all be friends here. We don't even have to fight the Brutals. We can just skip them, right? Yoyofruits going for some Furriot strats here. A name which confused me when I first was a part of the SMO community, but I now understand that it has an I in it and not a U. Makes a little bit more sense. Wrapping up the final bunnies fight as Sznoj is just now entering the top fight. Both racers going for topper first. Very interesting statistic there to keep track of. Or will have a huge impact on the race. And it all comes down to mech. When does it not all come down to mech? Lip Potato honestly getting sent back to the Shadow Realm here. It's unfortunate, but when you take strong allegiances with either Topper or Harriet first, sometimes you're going to get burned. Yoyofruits looking to close out this run here. Just needs to have a clean mech, and then it's pretty smooth sailing from then on out. Can't get extremely comfortable, but it does get pretty comfy once you finish that mech fight. Pretty decent climb there from him as we are headed to the final wire before the Bowser's mech fight. Sznoj, of course, having to climb all the way back up himself. Oh, Yo-Yo having a tiny bit of trouble with the climb, but does back it up very nicely. Targets Rango. I believe that's called Rango acquired. Kappa. Oh, but Yoyofruits falling down, trying to get Topper. And now it's a definite race here as Sznoj is still not in the mech fight, but does have a little bit of breathing room as Yoyofruits is on the ground. We're trying to make our way back up. Nice quick capture on the Pokio. Gonna go for Topper again. Very nice. I like that option. To keep things normal as if nothing even happened. We are back on top of the mech, so a definite detriment for our gamer Yoyofruits, but not huge. Yoyofruits still with a pretty sizable lead, I would say, and will be nailing hopefully this target acquired. We'll see if it's a success or not. It is indeed a success, so a fall on mech, but not a close enough race for it to really matter as Sznoj is still significantly behind here. Headed into Moon Kingdom. Snoy, though, does nab that topper acquired, so good job from Snoy for succeeding where Yoyofruits unfortunately fell a bit flat. I'm honestly surprised with the amount of banter about Topper first versus Harriet first in the chat. I thought I was definitely murdering any sort of... I guess you can't really stop the argument. It's just gonna go on forever. We're all gonna be like 80 years old, like, ooh, Topper first. Harriet first. And then we're gonna like fall over and die in the nursing home. Getting too upset. Like those memes where it's like the like young lady walking their grandma. It's just like, Harriet first is actually more efficient because yeah grandma, let's get you home. Let's get you home. Mario Odyssey 4 has been out for 20 years. Why are we still talking about SMO 1? I'm just surprised. I mean, I know it's a meme. I'm just surprised with like the longevity of the meme. Like usually memes like will die out at some point. But like Topper first and Harriet first, like it's just like it's got some weird staying power. I don't know. It's like a weird tradition. It's like not even a meme. It's like it's just baked into the community. I don't understand. I'm not complaining. I think it's funny, but probably the commentator's fault. Let's just bring commentators. It's always the commentator's fault. Why do commentators gotta have such bad memes? Make such stupid puns. Commentators stinky. Alright, so Yoyofruits dropping down into the final Bowser fight here as both Bowser and Mario are looking quite dapper. But only one finely dressed gentleman can move on. This is a battle for glory and the fate of Princess Peach. I never really thought about it before, but somebody said the other day, why on earth does Bowser do his hair so well just to put a hat on his head? Very good question. I wish I had the locks like Bowser, honestly. Looking pretty fire. Get it? Fire. Bowser. Okay, that one's not as good. Or bad? Not as bad. I think puns are only good if they're bad. And that wasn't even a pun. Anyways. Snoy now also in the Bowser fight. Reminder, if you're ever tired of hearing me talk on this channel, you can always offer up your own voice to the GSA overlords. We always need help on commentary. We also need help behind the scenes with stats and stuff like that. If you ever are interested in participating in community events, type !volunteer in the chat. We will get in contact with you, see if there's anything we could use your help with. A lot of different aspects that make these events possible. And of course, they would not be possible without gamers coming and watching in the chat, so just coming and watching. We really appreciate you being here. Hope you are enjoying the tournaments as much as I am, as Yoyofruits looking to secure a victory here. Should be a pretty comfortable one, although we have seen some major time losses in the escape sequence so far. So we'll see if I manage to curse them or not, as Yoyofruits headed into the 2D section here. approaching time. Get your command dances in the chat. Remember, no Pepe Ds. It's the one rule in the speedrun chat. No Pepe D. Alright, close enough. That's not command dance, but that's an acceptable emote. Wakuswu. Intentionally breaking the rules. Lit Potato gets a pass because he's lit Potato. Yoyofruits. Looking pretty hot on these pillars. Getting blocked by a couple of boulders, but that's okay. Not a huge deal. AC Money commentating via cat jams in the chat. You love to see it. The Emrys strat. Alright, and Yoyofruits will be clutching this one out here, ending the game with a 101.39. As we got Sznoj in the last pillar sequence as well. Still getting a fairly respectable time here. Actually, a very respectable time. I mean, a 102 in a race is definitely nothing to scoff at. As Sznoj unable to get the right angles here. Angulations. Oh my god, please. That was terrifying. Stop it. Oh my goodness. Sznoj just fed up with the fireballs. Just gonna head over and slash it. I was scared. You weren't scared. I was scared. But we'll be wrapping things up with a 102 regardless. Very nice time for a race. And that is it. This one is on the books. Sznoj, of course, not following the rules in the rule document. Gonna open up another video game, which is totally fine. Don't actually care that much, but we will go ahead and wrap things up for this one. And Sznoj scrolls through his captures for some reason. Alright, we'll see if we can get either racer in for an interview here. So we don't have much time left before the next matchup. We do have another match coming up in about 7 minutes. It is scheduled. It won't start in 7 minutes because apparently we are not prepared, but we will see if anybody wants to interview. We do have a couple minutes. Looks like Sznoj will be joining us. I'll wait for him to get into a voice lobby. Alright, welcome in, Sznoj. How you doing?
Alright, hello. GG's to Yoyo for winning the race, but I feel like this was a really stupid run. Yoyo probably would have won otherwise, but I am really disappointed in all the stupid stuff the game has. Or I've done, I guess. I don't really understand how I died on forks. Especially 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I mean, the forks room was just brutal for sure. I mean, making the same tumble 3 times in a row definitely must have been tilting. I mean, we saw it in the rage captures.
Yeah, I've done that a lot. I've done that at all the stupid spots that I felt like was stupid, because like I felt like that was not really like, I guess, my mistake, because that's what I've done for the past 2 years and it worked. so I don't know why it suddenly stopped working, but the same thing happened against Buster, so I should probably practice it more, I guess. I don't know. It would have been like a 101 for sure if I just did forks.
Yeah,
I
I
lost-
mean, perhaps just some sort of small mistake you're making all of a sudden, and it's just like something that just slipped into your gameplay. It can happen from time to time, but I'm sure you can iron that out. I wouldn't beat yourself up over it too much. That definitely happens to the best of us. Just need to get that ironed out potentially for the next match.
Yeah, but GG's to Yo-Yo, and I'm pretty much out of the tourney, but I will try to do just best as I can. Well, thank you for streaming and commentating.
Yeah, no problem. I'm not sure if you're technically fully out yet. I think there's like some hope and dream that you could possibly advance, but it is pretty unlikely.
Yeah,
Regardless, I appreciate you, playing your final race, and I hope it's a good one. Definitely give Doja a run for his money.
Yeah, thanks for everything. See ya.
Yeah, thank you for joining. We will go to a short break now. We're going to be having another match in about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll see how fast we can get set up. We'll do a setup speed run. Hopefully all racers are prepared. There's no daylight savings time confusion.